How you going, guys? So welcome back to video 82, I think I'm at now. So the plan for today is try and get this back bow done. It's going to be quite a lot of work. It's a lot more work involved in that than doing the other ones because it's shaped from so far around the corner. Just trying to get a little bit closer. I'll try and talk up. So yeah, it's going to be shaped from back here instead of just tapered at this tube. It's actually going to be tapered and then the tube is going to be fitted down here. So this is all going to be tapered and before it even gets to the tube because it's so much wider. And then it's also going to be crowned, whole back it's going to be crowned quite a lot. Almost to probably sort of, I wouldn't say half the width, but getting close to half the width of the back. And then it's just got a nice round on these edges, inside edges. So there's a lot of work in doing that. It's a lot more involved than just giving these a clean up. These here will need a bit more rounding in the corners and a bit more to clean up. And obviously a bit more to tart up. I want to fill the imperfections a little bit and smooth everything out so we can, like I said in the last couple of videos, I want to try and seal them up with a couple of light coats of clear coat or something like that just to seal the wood, because just to stop the moisture getting into the glue, just in case. Not this is likely to be out in the weather a lot, but you never know when you're going to be out on a nice sunny day, and being New Zealand, it can change. You can be out in the sun in the morning and it's a nice day, and then you'll get to like 12 o'clock or something like that and they'll just piss down. If you're out in it, well, yeah, you don't want it. You might be 2 hours from home in this old girl, ticking along quietly, and the external brakes, but you're not going to be fast and they're only on the back. So it could be out in the weather a bit, and a bit of moisture getting in and whatever, so we want to try and avoid the glue, the moisture getting into the glue and letting it go, worst case scenario. So yeah, I want to try and get them as smooth and as clean up as possible for that, so we can get them sealed, just in case. So yeah, there's a lot of work in this back bow. So hopefully we get it together. I'm going to try and see if I can get maybe the brackets made to pick up this first tube. I'd like to get that far away if I can, but at the main I would like to get obviously the ends made to put over that bolt and that, and just like the tapered tubes on it, and it's shaped all nicely. If I don't get the brackets made, that is what it is, but if I can I would like to. So I'm going to not waffle too much, I'm just going to get into it and get it done, because it's going to be dirty work, a lot of planing and stuff like that. So yeah, I did manage to, if you haven't seen 81, I managed to get the front bow in and clamped up, so I will get that pulled out before I leave tonight. Yeah, and then if I come down here tomorrow, I'll start working on that if I don't get the bracketry made for that. I'd like to get the bracketry made for that so I can start coming forward and getting all these links together, because then we can do the final fine tune. The same as what I did with these, the rod that I put in here, I will just tack and obviously leave myself a bit of playroom so we can come along here and adjust the height so we can get these really nicely dialed in, so when we look at it, it looks good. Because this here should be lower like that, this should be higher than this one, so it comes up, and then, yeah, this is lower, and then it comes up, and then it slowly drops back forward to the front. That's the sort of shape it should be, whereas with these here, it's very much the same way. So this here might be at this sort of level, or you might have to drop this back a little bit and pick this up a little bit and then, you know, there might be a little bit of jiggling. That's why I want to throw. I'm going to use these and modify possibly these, or make some other ones that are conduit to just get the final adjustment. And that's also why I'm not welding these pieces solid, so if I need to up and down a little bit to get the things right, we've got that play to play with if we need it. So, because like this is the first one of these I've ever made. The mock-up worked really well. So yeah, it's just a matter of fine tuning the final product. So we're really happy with it. And then yeah, we're very, very close to blowing the car apart. So I'll stop waffling and I'll get working. Righty guys. So I've marked how far around I want to start tapering it in. It's going to be up here. So I've marked it around just before it flattens right off. Almost right at the peak where it flattens here. It's basically on the edge of it. You know, it's probably that far back from where it actually fully goes flat. And up here is where the tube's going to be. I marked the rough centre. I've flattened one of these off, and I've had to do it all the way down to about here. So it was all roughly the same amount squeezed in. I might have to go along it again and just even it up a little bit. It's not quite 100%, but I can dial that in a little bit later on. I've got it squeezed in, and that's, as you can see, there's my other one. It's the same tube. So as you can see, it's quite a difference. So now I'm going to put this in the vise, lay this over top, mark the lines up there, you know, and get it look like it nice and centre. And then I'll get some masking tape and I'll follow those lines up to here and try and get a nice shape. And then I'll either plane it off or something like that. Probably the plane's just as easy. Keep planing the edge off until I get down to that line, and then I'll start shaping around it and getting it all really nice and smooth and over off, and then we'll blend that, obviously that shape here into the back here. I've started taking, I took the worst of the corners off, and I obviously not the worst of the broken stuff off here, but as you see, like by the time you cut this into here, a lot of this is going to be gone and it's going to be shaped around anyway, so this will all, the bulk of this will be disappeared. There might be a little bit of it seed, but by the time I really get it rounded off and closed up, the bulk of this will be not there, within reason, if you know what I mean. There's a little bit here that you possibly will see, but that's no big, we can tart it up later on. It's a shame I did that, but there's not much I can do about it, apart from make another one. That's no good point. I maybe just, I can put a bit of body filler on there or something like that, you know, and just tidy that up later. But, yeah. So I'll bang that device now. Get back out of the road a little bit, somewhere. God. Where am I? Too much crap on the floor, I need to have a bloody cleaner. Hang on. Not quite going to have a tripod. Borderline there. Well. No. Tripod is too close. See you back here a little bit. So yeah, this is going to be quite a bit of shaping. Unfortunately, it's a bit awkward because I'm going to have to try and shape this piece down the bottom first, so I've got the strength of this to grab onto, and then shape the rest of it once I've sort of got the, I think the tapered tube sort of fitting. You know, I don't want to have too much of this sticking out, but that sort of is what it is. I can't do much about it. So I don't want to put too much force on them places and I end up cracking this or something stupid, just trying to do things. But, point you downhill a little bit. Actually, I'll move you around here, you might be able to see slightly better. Oh, if that helps or not, but okay. So we'll lay this on here and get a fairly good eyeball around that. That looks pretty centered to me. Somewhere about there. There. Again, down there. Stand back and have a look at that. It's not too bad. I think we'll go with that roughly, and then get the tape, and I'll run it down the inside so I can see from the outside here. Masking tape is such freaking helpful stuff, eh? So I'll just taper that back to basically ease the wood back here on the line hack here that you can't quite see, but you get the idea. And I'll bring it down the line that I've got here, just to, then it gives me an idea how much material I need to take off. I might be able to see that better on this side, but make it a lot different. You can get a nice consistent line. It's a bit like masking out stripes on a car when you're doing painting, you know, if you want to put some sort of, or even a two-tone on a car, you know, your masking tape, you can make such a nice line with. I've done it 4 years ago. I'll put like that, the scat pack, sort of the bumblebee sort of stripe on the back of a purple Valiant, or sort of not purple, but sort of like a deep burgundy. I had a charcoal, metallic charcoal, and the original colour was deep burgundy, and the guy, the original colour of the car was dark burgundy, and the guy that I bought it off had bought some dark charcoal paint, but there was also some burgundy paint that came with the car. So I ended up just painting the car back to dark burgundy, and I used the dark charcoal as to basically black the bonnet out around the window frames, and put the scat pack stripe over the back of this like 73 Valiant. It's 4-door, but it looked really cool, eh? It looked really good. I think I can probably throw a photo up on here if I remember when I'm editing. It looked really good. But yeah, I just did it with normal masking tape. Just basically measured out, put a couple of little strips on there where I needed to get my lines right, and marked it all out, and it looked really good. I think I used the width of the tape. It might have been this width, but I used the width of the tape to, like you see the dark bit, and then you see like normally like a skinny black stripe on the sides type of thing. I just used the tape to mark that out, and yeah, it worked perfectly. But anyway, so that's what I've got here. So it'll just taper back. So I'm going to cut all that off to make it look nice, and that should blend into where obviously I've got to put the bow on. So I've got to shave all that off. And then I've got to do the same on the other end. So I'll get to it. Who made that mess? I did. Good old manual plane, eh? Taper it out of it. Righty, bit of an update. So I've been at this an hour, shaping this one end. Well, it might have been since I started. This was about just after 11. So yeah, I was probably at this just before 10. Started obviously trimming all this down, but yeah, I still haven't quite got this down. I'm until about here somewhere. I've just finished cleaning it up again and sanding the crap out of it, and I've just got to. I think I've got to just refit, or if I've got to start sanding again. I can't remember because I was just talking to Arco on Voxer. But yeah, I know I've just pulled it off. So yeah, and I've got to do some heap more sanding and just try and get this. It's not so much depth now. I've just got to get a wee bit more width off it to get it down. It's close. So yeah, I don't want to take any more off here because I'm almost too small up here now. I actually started using the caliper because I've taken so much off here. I actually started checking it, whereas the other ones weren't so bad because they started off about the right width. Whereas this, I've basically chopped over an inch off the width to here, if you know what I mean. Like it's quite tapered down, so it's taken a fair bit of work to get it to shape and get enough material off it. Because I think a couple of these might be a bit thicker, and I actually think it's a bit thicker than it should be, but that won't matter any amount. It'll probably make it a little bit stronger. So yeah, I've got to just keep shaping. I might actually have to run a little bit of glue into some of these, soak into some of these seams, get that glue a bit runny. Just run it into a little bit because there's a couple of spots where that's where I was worried about when I was pulling around that corner. I don't think I had enough clamping pressure just in spots. That's a little bit open. So if I let some glue run down in there, and hopefully we'll get it to, at least glue up a little bit. So if I get the glue nice and hot, and hopefully it'll run down, I'll just keep pushing it down in there for a bit. Let it cure up for another night and then sand it off, you know what I mean? Once we get a bit more cleaned up on it. But yeah, it's taking some work. Man, it's taking some work. As you can see, like it probably doesn't look like anymore, but man, I've created some dust and dirt and crap. I just had to drain the compressor because I was just starting to get a bit of moisture come through the line. We're actually going to, think about it, we're actually going to build a PVC manifold. What I mean by manifold, basically we're going to have the hose come out of here, come up the wall, come up, come down, and go across, and then at the bottom have a tap so we can drain it, and do that sort of 3 or 4 times, and then we're going to put a decent regulator water trap on here somewhere so we can hook air lines in after that. So that's coming up. Soon too we'll get that sorted, so at least when I'm spraying I'm not getting any water coming through, but that's where we're at here. We're not far away, so hopefully I'll just keep sanding a bit more until we can get this thing on. Alrighty guys, so I've just sort of set this up here, and I think in about the position it will be sitting. I think, because looking at the proper thing, this comes down at an angle and then it kicks down and picks us up. On here, get in close here so you can see it. So it bends down just right at that last little point and collects that. So it does sit fairly well back. So I've sort of just snuck it underneath there and about the same height, and I think that looks better. And this point will still be at the same place. It's basically at the same spot because it's sitting leaning a little bit back. So I think that'll work quite nicely. We'll just come around here and just give you a decent view from back here a bit. If I can. I'll zoom it in a little bit. So yeah, that looks quite good. I think that looks quite nice. Worst comes to worst, we can cut those tacks and just close it down a little bit if it looks a little bit high, which it might be. But yeah, it's just a matter of a little bit of adjustment. But yeah, that looks really, really cool. Man, that took some time to get that on, that first tapered tube on. Hopefully the second one will go faster because I haven't got to do all the other work first. But yeah, like it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be pretty, I don't know, by the time we'll start now and then go and have lunch in about half an hour. Like it's probably going to be, I'd imagine, getting close to 2 by the time I reckon I've got that on. And then I'll start making the pieces to go down. Yeah, I might get onto one side for the brackets, I think, because I've got to make 4 pieces the same for the hinge point. Because I've got a bracket on each side which is fixed to the tube, if you know what I mean. It's got like a T. It comes around here like that. Like that's over exaggerated, but you know what I mean. It comes around here like that, and it comes in and pinches on that point around the tube on both sides. So yeah, that's cool. That looks really good. Just haven't checked it out from the side. Oh yeah, that looks shit hot. Man, that looks good. I can't wait to get rid of this conduit and just set it up, if you know what I mean. Get all that out of the road. But yeah, that looks really, really cool. That looks good. Yeah, I think we're on the right track for sure. Looks really, really good. So that's cool. Right, guys. I'll carry on. Right, guys. So I've got the 2 tapered tubes on now. Man, it takes some work to get them this, 3 inches wide down to fit these on. Obviously a lot more shaping to go on the back bow, but I want to try and get these pieces made now. And while I've been doing this, I've just been listening to the Playing in Traffic show with Heidi and Arco and a few others on waffling on here. While I've been doing this, just to catch what I can when I turn the sander off. But yeah, I'll get these other pieces made now and we'll get it together. How you going, guys? So I've got that made to this point. I'm going to cut or round this off nicely so it's sort of even. I might even just take a little bit off here because the proper one comes down and it sort of gets a bit skinnier and then goes around that. Probably not that it really matters, but I'll still round this off and make it look and tidy this up a little bit. So I've got this one made. I need to make another one now. Just go see how this fits. See if it fits over the bolt, all that sort of stuff. And then I'll make another one. So just see if this does fit on there. So it can close with this stuff. Where are we? There. So that fits on there. In theory, should just slip this over there and put it in that hole. Maybe not. Still a wee bit more. That'll work. That will work. So that'll work. That will work quite nicely. So yeah, sweet. I'm pretty happy with that. I was going to make a spacer cone, it's almost, I wouldn't say a cone, it's almost like a barrel sort of shape. Spacer to go back in here against the body. That's, we'll get somebody to make that up. I'll do some measurements or a drawing or something like that. We'll get somebody to turn that up. Might get my brother to do it or something. Whatever. Or maybe the engineers, just draw up a picture of what I want. So that's cool. So I'll get another one of those made now. And obviously that gives us a little bit of, again, adjustment in and out. I can go back quite a bit, obviously, but I can drop it down, you know, I don't know, a bit over half an inch if I need to. So that's cool. That all look really good. Be nice to get all this crap out of the road. So that's cool. Yeah, nice. Looks like everything's sort of lining up quite good too. Like the points here, like that's, looks like it's lining up. Sorry, pretty good. That looks like it's going to line up good. Same with the other side, you know, with a little bit of encouragement type. This is pulled in a little bit too, like it's pressing against that, so that will come out a little bit. So yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. See if we can get the other one made, and before we go, I've still got to pull that other bowl out, but that can sit there until tomorrow morning if need be. Like it's not going to matter or anything. It's ready to go basically. I could pull it out now, but I'd rather get the other one of this made, and then I can start fabricating these little sort of like T sort of shaped brackets. Come on here and pick up this, and then we can work on this one. So that's cool. It's awesome. Can't wait. Yeah. Good. Looks like a real top now, kinda. Right, I'll pull that off and we'll cut another piece and make it. I'll just bring you back when I've got that far. Right guys, so I'm at the point where this is the back bow is hinged. Again, just tacked. I'll give you a close up look in a minute. That is hingeable, as I say. So yeah, that's about where the top will sit when it's down, obviously. If you can see that, yeah, you can. Right, I'll turn that camera around in a second. I'll just show you what I've done with these. I'll shape them a little bit at the ends, ground them down. It's kind of hard to see behind this piece, but you'll get the idea. Yeah, kind of hard to see, but you kind of get the idea. I've sort of rounded it and shaped it, and I've actually, it's a little bit wider here, and then it sort of tapers in a little bit and then comes back out again, just to try and give it a nice little shape like what the original sort of looks like in the photos, from what I can see. Both of them, I got them to sit slightly, the hinge point to sit slightly further out to that side of the bar, so heading out, so it gives me just a little bit more space to put a thing in there. I don't know if it was meant to be like that or not, it just sort of happened to happen that way, so I made the other one the same. I'm still I would say reasonably new on beating the crap out of steel when it's hot, sort of forging with a gas torch, but yeah, they both worked out about the same. So that's cool. Same but the opposite, if you know what I mean. So got that all in there. Obviously still got a lot of shaping to do on the back of this. Basically all I've done today was get this cut down, get those fitting and make those. That's taken me all day. I think it's like 4:30 or something like that now. So yeah, I'm pretty much beat. I'm going to head home. I've got a little project to do for myself, which I'll do for a couple of minutes, but I've just got a little bit to do for the computer that I want to add an extra couple of USB ports on the front. I managed to find a something that I can pick up for not much to hopefully fit on there, so I can get a bit faster connectivity through the front port, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's cool. So yeah, it's cool. Tomorrow I'll definitely start doing this piece. I haven't pulled that other bow off. It's no panic, but it's there ready to go. So you want to get this connected to this tomorrow. That's my next plan. So should be the old CAD template, cardboard-aided design for a rough guess. And yeah, I'll just tack them on there for a start off, and hopefully, yeah, then we can get that attached to that, and then I can start working out this bracket and actually get rid of these two out of the road completely, and then I can work on obviously this stuff and get the brackets made up in bits and pieces for this. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow, depending on how long I spend here, I'd like to get these attached both sides if possible, or even if, you know, just temporary tacked on there and a bolt in there, and like all these all shaped, because I'm going to have to bring it around here and bend it in and bend the tabs back out so it just clears this, and you know, it's a little bit of shaping, a little bit of going around, so it's not going to take a lot, but you've got to get them all the same. So I'll have to cut and shape and all that sort of stuff, and then bend and do the initial outline shaping first all together, and then I'll have to do the little bendy piece with a bit of heat and whatever, and we'll just give it a decent smack with a hammer probably, and get them to fit around here and then sit straight up again. So a little bit involved in that. It's not terribly complicated, but you know, they've got to be all the same, so it's got to look good. And obviously, yeah, just I'll tack them on for a start off, and then we'll work out how we're actually going to attach them. So yeah, that's cool. Right guys, we'll catch you later on. Cheers. I couldn't help myself. I had to take it off. Put it up there just to get an idea. That's probably a bit low. That wooden bar is probably a bit low at the front. I'd imagine it would sit about the same height as what this does up. But you kind of get the idea. Righty,